Looking at Psalms 102 for our devotion today, a psalm which may be titled, The Prayer of the Afflicted when he is overwhelmed and poureth out his complaint before the Lord, and can be subtitled, Do Not Hide Your Face from Me. And today we're focusing on verse 21 through to 25 for the exposition. Let's go ahead and read those 5 verses. Verse 21. To declare the name of the Lord in Zion, and his praise in Jerusalem. 22. When the people are gathered together, and the kingdoms to serve the Lord. 23. He weakened my strength in the way. He shortened my days. 24. I said, O my God, take me not away in the midst of my days. Thy years are throughout all generations. 25. Of old hast thou laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the work of thy hands. And as we turn to the treasure of David for the exposition, let's go ahead and read verse 21 again. To declare the name of the Lord in Zion, and his praise in Jerusalem. And Spurgeon exposits, to declare the name of the Lord in Zion, and his praise in Jerusalem. Great mercy displayed to those greatly in need of it is the plainest method of revealing the attributes of the Most High. Actions speak more loudly than words. Deeds of grace are a revelation even more impressive than the most tender promises. Jerusalem restored, the church re-edified, desponding souls encouraged, and all other manifestations of Jehovah's power to bless are so many manifestos and proclamations put up on the walls of Zion to publish the character and glory of the great God. Every day's experience should be to us a new gazette of love, a court circular from heaven, a daily dispatch from the headquarters of grace. We are bound to inform our fellow Christians of all this, making them helpers in our praise, as they hear of the goodness which we have experienced. While God's mercies speak so eloquently, we ought not to be dumb. To communicate to others what God has done for us personally and for the church at large is so evidently our duty that we ought not to need urging to fulfill it. God has ever an eye to the glory of his grace in all he does, and we ought not willfully to defraud him of the revenue of his praise. And verse 22 that reads, When the people are gathered together, and the kingdoms to serve the Lord. Spurgeon exposits. When the people are gathered together, and the kingdoms to serve the Lord. The great work of restoring ruined Zion is to be spoken of in those golden ages, when the heathen nation shall be converted unto God. Even those glorious times will not be able to despise that grand event, which, like the passage of Israel through the Red Sea, will never be eclipsed and never cease to awaken the enthusiasm of the chosen people. Happy will the day be when all nations shall unite in the sole worship of Jehovah. Then shall the histories of the olden times be read with adoring wonder, and the hand of the Lord shall be seen as having ever rested upon the sacramental host of his elect. Then shall shouts of exalting praise ascend to heaven in honor of him who loosed the captives, delivered the condemned, raised up the desolation of ages, and made out of stones and rubbish a temple for his worship. And verse 23 that reads, He weakened my strength in the way. He shortened my days. He weakened my strength in the way. Here the psalmist comes down again to the mournful string and pours forth his personal complaint. His sorrow had cast down his spirit, and even caused weakness in his bodily frame, so that he was like a pilgrim who limped along the road and was ready to lie down and die. he shortened my days. Though he had bright hopes of Jerusalem, he feared that he should have departed this life long before those visions had become realities. He felt that he was pining in a way, and would be a short-lived man. Perhaps this may be our lot, and it will materially help us to be content with it, if we are persuaded that the grandest of all interests is safe, and the good old cause secure in the hands of the Lord. And verse 24 that reads, I said, O my God, take me not away in the midst of my days. Thy years are throughout all generations. I said, O my God, take me not away in the midst of my days. He betook himself to prayer. What better remedy is there for heart sickness and depression? We may lawfully ask for recovery from sickness, and may hope to be heard. Good men should not dread death, but they are not forbidden to love life. For many reasons, the man who has the best hope of heaven may nevertheless think it desirable to continue here a little longer, for the sake of his family, his work, the church of God, and even the glory of God itself. Some read the passage, Take me not up, let me not ascend like disappearing smoke. Do not whirl me away like Elijah in a chariot of fire. For as yet I have only seen half my days, and that a sorrowful half. Give me to live till the blustering morning shall have softened into a bright afternoon of happier existence. Thy years are throughout all generation. Thou livest, Lord, let me live also. A fullness of existence is with thee. Let me partake therein. Note the contrast between himself pining and ready to expire, and his God living on in the fullness of strength forever and ever. This contrast is full of consolatory power to the man whose heart is stayed upon the Lord. Blessed be his name, he faileth not, and therefore our hope shall not fail us, neither will we despair for ourselves or for his church. And verse 25 that reads, Of old hast thou laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the work of thy hands. Let's put in Exposition. Of old hast thou laid the foundation of the earth. Creation is no new work with God, and therefore to create Jerusalem a praise in the earth will not be difficult for him. Long ere the holy city was laid in ruins, the Lord made a world out of nothing, and it will be no labor to him to raise the walls from their heaps and replace the stones in their courses. We can neither continue our own existence nor give being to others. But the Lord not only is, but he is the maker of all things that are. Hence, when our affairs are at the very lowest ebb, we are not at all despairing, because the Almighty and Eternal Lord can yet restore us. And the heavens are the work of thy hands. Thou canst therefore not merely lay the foundations of Zion, but completes its roof, even as thou hast arched in the world with its ceiling of blue. The loftiest stories of thine earthly palace shall be piled on high without difficulty when thou dost undertake the building thereof, since thou art architect of the stars and the spheres in which they move. When a great labor is to be performed, it is eminently reassuring to contemplate the power of him who has undertaken to accomplish it. And when our own strength is exhausted, it is supremely cheering to see the unfailing energy which is still engaged on our behalf. Oh, hallelujah. Great is our God. Trust you enjoyed the meditation. Michael here declaring yet again, Jesus is Lord. Until next time, be